finish that chapter in 10 minutes and take the rest of the time to figure out the deeper meaning.
Also, I found that when you would read stuff, you just want to read it. You didn't want to talk about it afterwards.
No, like why should I?
Because you want to make sure that you understand it.
It's like I can give a good summary and what it is, but then sometimes I would give like a summary or whatever, or say like the deeper meaning. They say go deeper, and it's like, how deeper do you want me to go? It's pretty like I gave you like what the thing means. It's like, but anarchy and the government and all that. It's like,
So do you think? Okay, so how would we compare reading to stand-up comedy, or the writing in books and stand-up comedy?
I don't know.
You leave out certain details that aren't important, right? Because you were saying that someone will say the couch is blue.
Well, no. It's like the author will be like, oh, let's say red chair, right? Because as an author, you want to describe what the room looks like. It's like, oh, this is what the character's room looks like. There's a poster of Iron Man. There's a red chair. There's like the cushion is like kind of rotting away. There's like this stuff, right? And the author might just be like, this is like cool details about his room. But English teachers will be like, the rotting chair is what society means and stuff. And it's like, no, it's a red chair.
They start reading into it. Yeah, but so there is
like
a lot of...
Basically, no, there's such a thing as reading into it, which is fine, but there's such a thing as reading too far into it, and that's what most English teachers do. And it's like...
Yeah.
They're...
But why did they have to say that something was... Why do they have to describe something to a color? You can say Iron Man and poster on the wall. You can say all these things, but... Because you want to paint a picture, right? But when you start being specific with colors and things like that...
Well, I can say that about, like, any painting. It's like, why make that chair red, right? It's like, oh, it's because I like the color. There's
a big chair. Can you just say big chair? So what I'm trying to compare it with stand-up comedy is, like, if you were to describe something too much, then the audience starts thinking about that. I mean, if it's not part of your punchline, they're like, why did you even have to tell us that the couch was red or the chair was red? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, they're doing that for the book, so like us as a reader can be like, oh, that's what the room looks like. It's good.
Yeah, but why do you have to be on the same page with the color? Does it matter if the chair was red, blue, pink, or orange?
No, but the author is like, the chair's gonna be blue because that's what I decided, right?
Okay, so and you just glaze over as a reader. You just glaze over it.
Yeah. As a reader, like unless it's like another chapter is like, oh, the main character walks back in, looks at the red chair again, something like reminds him of something, right?
Yeah.
But it's for us to glaze over to like, okay, this is what his room looks like. There's a red chair over there, and then like that way, I like, at least for me, when I imagine I mean that's how it works when describing characters. Like, oh, she has a very plump face, like big eyes, like red, all that stuff. It's like,
yeah, but it's so okay, and then that's okay.
It's a readers like us, like we can like imagine. It's like, okay, that's...
And then the teachers are the ones that ruin it because they say, let's analyze why the chair is red and why.
And it's like I get it to be like, oh, this red chair is given to him by his mother who passed away, and it means blah blah blah. But when they start doing outlandish stuff, like it means society is rotting away, blah, like that kind of stuff. It's like, okay,
so is that poor writing?
From the teachers or something? I don't know. It's just. It depends on the book. Because
you're saying the author will say the chair is blue, and for no other reason the chair is blue. Okay, well, I think you have all the time in the world to read that book, so I guess it doesn't have to be brief in descriptions. But when you're doing stand-up comedy, you definitely only have 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. So you have to cut it down. But the audience definitely focuses on that. If I were to say a punchline like, oh, so I went to the store and I bought a blue chair. Okay, well, why did you say blue? Because now I'm thinking I should remember that you said blues because it might be part of the punchline.
Yeah, I think you said it great. The best way to describe it is, but readers have basically all the time in the world to read it. So it's like, yeah, chair's blue. Like they have the time to tell you all these neat little details, but it's like you want to get to the joke. So you'll do anything to like shorten it down to get to that joke instead of being
because it's not important. Some details are not important.
You can be like, oh, instead of being like, I got a chair, blah blah blah, joke, right? You can be like, this should be a bad way of writing it. be with my black leather coat. I walked into the H&M and I got myself I went to the Home Depot with the orange sign, and I went in. I got the green chair with the yellow cushion, and I went to the. It's like that's too much.
Do people do that?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying that's a bad way of doing it.
Okay, but so name a normal situation. Give me an example of a normal situation when you're reading a book, because I don't read books. You do, and I don't know. Maybe I would read books if they were shorter. Maybe I don't have patience.
What do you mean,
when you give me an example of something that is described in a book that it's not really relevant to, like, the amount of detail is not relevant to the story. Like, we all know the Home Depot, that was just an example, but we all know the Home Depot logo is orange, so I get it. You're painting a picture, but say, someone gives you a description of something and you're like, okay, I think that's why, if I were to start reading, there's many reasons why I don't read. One of them being I don't want to read. But if I did, if the description was, if things were like that, if the content was like that, I would go, oh my God, do I need to know all this? So then I think that's why I don't like reading, is because I start memorizing or trying to memorize it or trying to paint that picture when it's not even necessary. That would piss me off. So
I can show you a bad example later, like the Ready Player One book. But here's a good one, I guess.
Okay.
It's like, I'll just say a short blurb. Everyone's flashlight was on high beam now, which is good, since a single torch that had been lit had just hit the water with a sizzle. A prehistoric nightmare unfolded before them. Half a dozen serpents had broken the surface of the pool, and Gregor had a bad feeling that more were coming. There's like some more stuff.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, if that were a joke premise, I'd be like this, oh my gosh, so much is happening right there. Do I need to know all that?
Well, yeah, as the book, it's like trying to, because basically you're trying to imagine what it looks like, right?
Okay.
But if this is stand comedy, it's like, all right, so our instead of being like, everyone's flashlight was on high beam now, which is good, single torch has been lit, has hit the water. All right, everyone's flashlights are on, because Klutz over here dropped their torch in the water, and
Okay, see, now you're speaking my language.
yeah. And then, so a bunch of these fish are attacking us, and I think they called their friends, and more's coming.
Yeah, that's good. See, I could be down with that book. Can you just rewrite books for me so I can read them?
I'll rewrite books in like how normal people.
Yeah. So then, what makes you stick with reading that? What makes you like that book?
I don't know. It's just the writing is like, it's detailed. It's like good and all that stuff without being like.
It's this book.
Without being overbearing.
Okay, it's this book. Oh. So would you skip over that part, or you're like, maybe I should read this because it's important?
There's times where I read and it's just like, or the only times I skip it is, let's say, Land of Stories. They give out a bunch of exposition. Like a character tells like a backstory to another character that we already know because we read the other books. And it's like,
they just have to re-explain it for people that
they're re-explaining it for the character who didn't know. But since I read the past books, I'm like, I want to just skip this. I know what happens. Unless it's like, oh, from my point of view, this is what happened. Then I'll read it. But it's like, okay, I could just skip that.
Oh. Did you just finish that book?
I have. I already finished it. I mean, not right now. I was reading a section of it right now.
Okay, well, that's interesting. So yeah, this whole conversation started because when you write a joke premise, all the pertinent information needs to be there and nothing extra. Because if you add things in there that don't need to be there and you just want to mention it, things that just need to get mentioned and they don't get mentioned again, or it's not part of the punchline, don't need to get mentioned.
Also, sometimes things I tend to do lately when I'm reading books is if they do like an action or say something, I act it out.
You do?
Like to myself. I'm just like, oh, right. And then sometimes I pretend it's like, I'll add some, like, if I'm reading, they have like dialogue between each other, I'll add some banter, like in my own head, I make it up.
Wow, that's talent.
Which is like funny.
That's cool. Okay, so I've heard So I have another friend that reads a lot, and she said, "Oh my gosh, you should read because like it's so great to read a book in your inner voice." I don't have an inner voice.
Oh, that reminds.
Oh, I guess my inner voice would just be me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That reminds
That
me.
makes sense.
One time, like in our school, I think it was like a after school program, and like we were waiting to get picked up, and there was this one girl like, reading out loud, like, yeah, because I'm not going to kill it, and I'm not leaving it here for the other rats to use," said Gregor, like that kind of stuff. And then I think we're always like, "Can you read in your head?" Right? I don't think she knew how to. So she kept like reading it out loud, and we were like all trying to read her, like.
You think about it though, when you're a kid, that's all you get taught is to read out loud. You know, you're sitting there before bedtime, and your parents are going, the good night moon, good night room, good night cow jumped over the moon, or however it goes.
True.
And you're reading out loud, and you're pointing to the things. So at what point, I wonder, what age do you start reading, having an inner voice? At what age?
Oh.
When do you start reading to yourself? That's an odd thing to think about. Like,
do you have like thoughts in your head, or like you say stuff like in your head that you don't say out loud?
I don't. That's my problem. I say everything out loud. That's my
yeah,
problem.
I can talk in my head. I mean, also.
Yeah, but those what's that called? What are those called? What's that called?
Here's what I imagine. It's like sometimes when I talk in my head, I can feel my tongue like moving a little bit. 'Cause it's like I'm talking without.
Maybe my mouth, not my tongue. Wait, so what is that called when you have thoughts? What are those called? Intrusive thoughts.
Inner thoughts.
Inner thoughts? What's the difference between inner thoughts and intrusive thoughts? What are the intrusive thoughts?
Inner thoughts are just thoughts you have in your head. Intrusive thoughts are thoughts like.
I'm gonna push that person on the train tracks.
Yeah, it's like it's not thoughts you want to have. It's just like you have them.
Okay.
Right? Like people think.
Okay, all my thoughts are intrusive.
So sometimes people like have intrusive thoughts, and people are like, "You're a terrible person." It's like it's not like I want them. Like it's not like I want to do them. It's just like okay, I'm not like.
Yeah, not you're like you're gonna, but you think
an
you're
intrusive thought, like intrusive thought I had, and I was like, "Oh no!" It's like you driving. It's like, what if I took the wheel and just did
No,
that?
this is what I think when we're driving on the freeway and I see someone with a motorcycle riding next to me. I think, wow, all I have to do is take this pencil and throw it into the wheel and ruin that guy's day.
Sometimes intrusive thoughts are funny. Sometimes they're like, oof, no. Impulsive thoughts are like, people mix up impulsive and intrusive. Impulsive means, I'm gonna dye my hair today, or I'm gonna get a haircut, right?
That's
intrusive is, I'm gonna push that old lady down the.
No, I don't think people mistake it. I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
No. Some people do. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm having
impulsive. It's like, last minute, no planned, like nothing planned.
People on the internet will mistake intrusive for impulsive, or the other way around. It's like intrusive thought. I'm gonna quit my diet today. It's like, no, it's impulsive.
Well, the internet is dumb. It's like a lot of people saying I literally
blew up.
I literally blew up the bathroom when I had diarrhea today.
Bob Squad, go. But yeah, there's this little illustration I saw online that like perfectly explains like impulsive, intrusive thoughts. It's like intrusive thought. I'm gonna throw this baby like at the wall. It's like no. I shouldn't do that. That's like a thought I don't want to have. I know to like just protect this baby. Right?
Yes.
People also make jokes about like intrusive thoughts are funny. It's like where it's the person like cutting like with an apple. It's like cut all your fingers off. It's like what? Who's saying that? It's like cut your fingers.
Okay. Well, this doesn't make me want to read books. That's for sure. There should be like this is what they should do. They should have this book, right? Well, here's the book, and you know how they have like the abridged version, which means what? It's shortened.
Oh, there's
Answer that question.
Yeah, abridged, just like the shortened, like edited version.
Okay, so they should have one for people that don't read. Maybe call it the comics version.
There's actually.
We could read. Could you do that? Rewrite someone's book and just say this is based on this book, and here it is. Oh, I guess that would be called Cliff's Notes. Do you guys have Cliff's Notes? Your generation? Do you know what that is?
Yes, I do. We have. There's a website for it. I used it for senior year.
What's it called?
Cliff Notes.
Oh, it still exists.
Yeah, it still exists.
Okay.
I use it all the time because.
But is it funny though? It should be funny. It should be like,
Oh, actually,
For
there's
dummies.
Molly, there's just such a thing like abridged stuff. Like, people on YouTube do abridged versions of anime shows, movies, and it's super funny. It's like, yeah, it's like the abridged version of, let's say, Breaking Bad. It's like a really funny parody and stuff, kind of.
I wonder if there are any YouTube channels where they read the book with you, and then they can then there could be commentary.
Yeah.
Are there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
those videos I've seen where it's like talks about Ready Player 1 sequel, the
Yeah.
Ready Player 2,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna buy
That's cool. I didn't. Okay, so there's a whole other genre out there, but
Mhm.
yeah. So if I didn't
I
want to
can
read a book,
recommend you some channels.
okay, great. Let's hear it. Yeah, you can send it to me.
Yeah, I'll
But
tell
yeah,
you, 'cause I don't know
so
about-
okay, but what about for people that like me that don't want to read? Maybe we can start a channel where you read a book to me, and I go, wait. Can we pause there for a second, and then I can ask you questions about it, and we could discuss. What do you want to do? Want to do that?
Sure.
Then maybe we could talk about Land of Stories. That's your favorite books,
Mhm.
right? Let's do that. I think that's gonna be our next channel. I think that's gonna be our next episode. Let's do that. Let's see what happens.